It's the only match that rightfully deserved the main event spot at TLC, as Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair and Asuka battled in the first ever women's triple threat TLC match for the Smackdown Women's Championship. The match was brutal from start to finish and proved to be one of the best on the stacked card. The Empress of Tomorrow would start off strong, as both Flair and Lynch couldn't help but get in each other's face. Asuka capitalized, taking both down. But this was a TLC match after all, and wasting no time at all, both Flair and Asuka brought in both ladders and tables into play, using them to inflict as much pain as possible. One instance saw Asuka flipping Lynch onto a ladder back first, and thereafter powerbombing Flair into a corner table. Both spots easily had us go, ouch! But it didn't end there, as the spots became more and more brutal throughout the match, with us all wondering how in the hell did she get up from that? One such spot saw Lynch climbing the ladder on the outside, with Asuka and Flair laid out on the announcer's table below. As Lynch leapt off 12 feet in the air, Asuka managed to roll out the way, but Lynch managed to get all of Flair as she blatantly crashed on her ribs and stomach with all her weight. WWE was quick to censor out Flair's profanity as she was writhing in pain, but we're sure most of you could have lip-synced what was said, and it probably rhymed with clucking bell. Other than using chairs as a solid weapon, Flair managed to find a kendo stick and unloaded all her holiday frustrations out on the two. By the skin of her teeth, Asuka managed to quickly move out of the way and avoided eating table earlier on, but she wouldn't be that lucky again, as Flair delivered a brutal spear to her in the ringside barricade. With Asuka still recovering on the outside, it left Flair and Lynch to climb up the ladder, though neither of them managed to get the opportunity to grab the title, and the two eventually started to brawl on the outside again. After Flair had laid out Lynch on a table that had been set up on the outside, Flair managed to perform a senton bomb right through it. The two would get another chance to fight on the ladders, desperately trying to reach the title. Suddenly, a wild Ronda Rousey appeared and pushed the ladder, taking them out of the match. This left Asuka on her own to climb the ladder. She reached up and unhooked the belt, finally winning her first main roster championship. But why was Asuka chosen to win when Becky Lynch was still clearly the favourite going in? Well, we have 3 reasons why. Number 1. Vince has restored faith in her. It seems that WWE's head honcho Vince McMahon has more belief in Asuka to carry the women's division on the blue brand. His faith in her started to rise reportedly after Lynch needed to choose her replacement for her match against Ronda Rousey on the Smackdown prior to the Survivor Series. Fightful.com reported that Vince was surprised to see that Asuka managed to get the loudest ovation from the crowd, much louder than even Charlotte Flair, and even commented, "Nothing compared to hers." It seems Vince has done a complete 180, as reportedly earlier this year, it was his decision to halt her push due to her not being fluent in English. This of course means she couldn't do promos very well. Gladly this has all changed, with the Empress reigning supreme. Number 2. She deserved it. It's difficult to think of a superstar, male or female, who has seen their stock plummet as fast than Jinder Mahal. We mean Japan's Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. Asuka debuted both in NXT and on the main roster as a global phenomenon and a dominant NXT Women's Champion, but then later became just another talent that was wasted on the main roster. While the WWE started things off right with a winning streak from her main roster debut last year, which continued with her win at the inaugural Women's Royal Rumble match, things went downhill from there at WrestleMania 34, where her streak came to a crashing end. Her loss to Charlotte at Mania made no sense, and she went from being billed as a WWE superstar with the longest winning streak to a wrestler who couldn't even beat Carmella, and more recently, she had been inexplicably inserted into a tag team with Naomi, which simply did nothing for her. If anybody deserved the title, it would be Asuka, as it's something that has been long overdue. And number 3, Becky Lynch will win the Royal Rumble. Now that the Irish lass kicker no longer has a championship in her possession, she is now eligible to enter the Royal Rumble next year in January. Whilst we now know she won't be entering at number 30, as this spot has now been reserved for Carmella after winning the Mixed Match Challenge final, it's certain she will take part. But it gets even better, as it's rumoured that Lynch will win the Royal Rumble. It's also rumored that she will choose to face Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey for the title at WrestleMania 35. As for Charlotte, she is expected to win the Women's Elimination Chamber and face off against Asuka for the championship at WrestleMania 35. It's a role reversal from this year's WrestleMania, as Charlotte will now be the challenger in the match. What did you guys think of Asuka winning the championship? Let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.